All right, let's talk about the holidays and how much they can stress us out because I have myself gone through so many times where I just had huge expectations for myself. And I have to, of course, as soon as I get on here, my nose gets itchy. But you know what? I put that pressure on myself and I have completely changed, like even within the last year. So if you're new here, please type your name in the chat. If you're watching this on replay, go ahead and do the same. Tell me where you're from and what you're drinking. I am drinking a candy cane latte from David's Tea. I absolutely love it and order it every year. So, here are the problems that I have had. And this is what so many of us women in particular will face. So, we have like 47 things to do on our to do list. And that is not an exaggeration. 47 things. So many just things taking care of other people. We got food, we got commitments. Of course, there are gifts, and gifts are they're the thing I like the least as far as Christmas goes, but that's okay because everybody has different things. Love languages, all of the things. My husband's love language is gift giving. Although he's not, it's not like he's like a kid where he's like, I need this many presents like that uh, cousin in Harry Potter, but he definitely cares to get something, some kind of form of that. My mom is the same way. Other people, it's acts of service, it's time together. And then we will start falling into the comparison trap. So you're going on social media, you're going on Instagram. I myself, I can't even help but be like, oh, look at this like Balsam Hill advertisement coming on my phone just because I happened to click on something about a glass garland. And then now I'm being bombarded and I'm like, I don't want to see that. Like it's the Black Friday week. So and my Americans, you get your Thanksgiving, but we've already had ours. So all of that, the comparison, and then there's guilt. We have guilt like I should be making homemade cookies. I should be hosting parties. I myself am having that guilt this year. We always or for the past several years, we've had a party near Christmas. And I like this year, I'm just feeling really overwhelmed and stressed with all of the things happening in our lives. And I'm like, I don't know if I want to do that. So, of course, I'm having that guilt. And then I'm like, my grandparents are still alive and I love them so much. And who knows how long they'll be here, which, they're in their early 90s. So, like, let's be real. So there's that. And then there is the exhaustion. So who here feels exhausted just thinking about it? I am like that too. And I have had, in fact, I'm going to share this in a second, but I've gone through the things, but I've actually gone through another sort of transformation this year, and I'm going to share it with you. And I've got like, you might be in like either camp. There's sort of two camps you might be in, but before I get to that, so we've got like the problems. There's the time crunch. There's like, how do the women fit it all in? And then for some people, they're actually past the point of having kids at home. And then they're like, oh my gosh, like I now feel like I'm needing that community. I'm needing more people. I'm almost like straddling the fence a little bit in that right now because I have um teenagers 16, 18, and 20, and they're busy. So my 16-year-old, he can still hang out, but the other two, they're busy. We actually have a trip planned to go on our annual little trip that we do, and my middle son can't come, and I'm so sad. And then last year my oldest son couldn't come, and I'm like, that's what happened. So there's that issue. But here's what we do to try to fix the problems of like overwhelm and being so busy is we will often just push through, and we're just like, I'm just going to push through and I will just rest in January. And I'm sure for my American friends, it's probably worse because you have Thanksgiving thrown in within the month, like before Christmas. For us, Thanksgiving is like usually around like the 10th or something of October. So the lead up to Christmas can be a little slower. It still feels like it comes fast, though, I'll be honest with you. Um, I have an Australian here, which is so lovely. Hello, hello. I love all of my friends. Actually, I'll just pop in here and say hi to Kelly and Angela and Robbie. Hello, hello. So, a lot of us, we try to push through, or we just try to do more. We add more activities thinking that's the solution. We feel like we're not doing enough, or we feel like we need better planning, which planning, I love planning. So that can be a part of it for sure. Or we also will say yes to too many things. We don't want to disappoint anybody, but then we're forgetting about ourselves in this and recognizing that we are only one person, can do so much. And truly, This is your holiday too. And that is one of the things I will talk about that I have come up with in the past that I came up against. A lot of us will be like, I just need to try to recreate what works for other families. Or we're just like, I'm just going to caffeinate and survive. Or we even just say, like, I'm just going to, like in National Lampoons, where he's like, I had a lot of help from Jack Daniels, right? Like, just like being like, I'm just going to really indulge and just try to get through from that. So that can be a real challenge too. Hi, Laura. So my story, you may have heard, is that I ended up in like 2018 or 19 or something. I remember it was like right before Christmas, and I was just like, oh my gosh, like I wanted to make these cookies and I didn't get enough cookies made. And I'm gonna be honest with you, as a spoiler alert, I'm kind of feeling that way this year, but there's a bit of a different reason. So I will get to that. But I was just like, ugh, like, how do I get on top of this? So what I did is I just made a list of all the things I want to happen at Christmas every year. Now, you also, of course, would take into consideration your family. And what I want to sort of stress, though, is being reasonable with all of this. I used to say reasonable minimalism before our friend Elisa, who often is here at the lives. She helped coin the phrase minimalist light. I was sort of like, what is it going to? And she was like, minimalist light. So that's sort of what I practice now. So what I did was I wrote down all of the things I want to get done every year at Christmas, and I put it in this cute little book. And it was sort of like kind of based off of Fly Lady a little bit. And I call it like my holiday control journal. So every Christmas, I just get this out and, I just start doing, like, I've got my list of favorite baking, all of the things. So you just do that. And I have this handbook here that you can download. I think the link is below this video. If it isn't, maybe somebody can let me know and I'll just make sure it's there after. But I just have like planning things on there. One of the things was like tire shop. So what I did, and I'm going to come around here so you don't feel like there's too much, because sometimes there is too much, but I wrote everything down, all of the things that I like, all of the things everybody likes. And, down to the baking, down to hiding spots, because more than one Christmas has gone by where I have been like, where did I hide that? And literally was pulling stuff out after Christmas, which is not fun. And I did, like, I have got my Christmas playlist. So the favorite Christmas music that I have, and I actually have it. I'll make sure it's under this video later if it isn't right now, but you can download my Christmas playlist. Pantry staples, things that you need every year, or that it's nice to have the list. Favorite shows. This is one that will definitely happen this year. And so the thing about this list is, don't fall into the trap of thinking that it is a to-do list of like must get done. I have to get this done list. So I've got like favorite snacks, favorite or Christmas dinner, which we usually just do like that Christmas party I was talking about, which we may or may not do. And then there's liquor, which we don't really buy, but like, and even like family recipes, which is really helpful. I also have a list of gifts. So I have like stacked up Post-its from years on years where it helps me organize my list. So you can download that below. It looks like this. I think it's got all of my stuff in there just to help you out, and then blank spots for you. So the other thing, though, I'm just going to make sure I've got on there because I don't want you guys missing out. But what I realized is this year, so first of all, my kids are growing up. Like, they just are. They're young teen, young adult boys, and boys are boys, right? They don't necessarily want all of the stuff. They do want to do stuff with us, but it's different as kids get older. So what I realized is this year in particular, I was feeling so over committed to so many things, and I just was exhausted. And I realized that I definitely needed to sort of like be careful with my time and my energy this year in particular. So in the past also, there's the thing for you guys if you want it. But I also had decided one year I was going to do Vlogmas, which is the thing where you post like a video every day at Christmas. And I was like, I'm just going to do it every other day. Well, that was the year I got strep throat twice, right? So my body was like, enough of this. Like, stop like pushing yourself so far. And usually I would be taking on a lot and getting ready for January because January is a really big time in my industry. But I just realized this year in particular, I need to take it so easy. I need to scale way back and I need to just really focus on rest and not doing too much. My husband also was diagnosed with high-ish cholesterol, like high, but not like crazy high, but high. So he really had like a rude awakening when he was talking to the doctor. I know everybody who's just getting here. And he was feeling like he's been really watching everything. Like he hasn't had butter since, the end of October when he realized that he hasn't been eating a lot of things. He is at the point, after a month, I was like, you know what? You probably could have like pizza once a month, just going maybe homemade, lighter on the cheese, healthier dough, all of the things. Is this glitchy for you? It feels like it's a little slow. Hopefully that's just on my end. So butter and baking. I love baking Christmas stuff. But I also don't want to be like, I'm baking a bunch of Christmas stuff and you can't have it. Not to mention the fact that I basically have like 1.5 kids here right now. The 18-year-old, he's super busy. He's working. And my youngest, he can only eat so much, although he would eat a lot. So I'm almost thinking I might maybe just do like one batch of certain things, freeze them. I often do end up giving things to, well, I actually always give the moms, my mom, my mother-in-law, and my grandparents, who, like I said, they're still here. I'm so grateful. Give them a little box. Okay, I'm glad it's normal. Thank you, Kelly. Give them a little box of goodies. So that I was like, thank God. I was watching Garden Answer today, Laura, and her and her family, they do they bake for their garden center's open house every year, and they end up baking. And I was like, oh, to have an excuse for baking. And then I was like, Robin, you have an excuse for baking. You give away these gifts these goodies every year. So like go ahead and do that. So that was a relief and I can, do it when my husband's working. I don't want to like do it while he's here. That would be mean. I mean, it's hard enough for me to say no. And I still can't eat these things, so I'm just eating like less. But what it actually feels kind of good is it almost has removed the expectation. Thank you. The expectation to do a lot. And nobody really was expecting. I would say my husband did expect some. He wanted some, but now he's just like, he doesn't have a vote. Although we can definitely make like some candied nuts, but even then he's watching sugar. So that feels really good too. And now that the kids are a little bit older, it's really hard to shop for teen boys anyway, but they're kind of like more adult, so it's a little easier. Our youngest, he got his first iPhone at 16. He did not want one. He was like, I don't want to be one of those people always looking at my phone. Well, he has one now just because you kind of need one at this point. So maybe get him AirPods or something. But it truly is just a much simpler time, a much simpler holiday right now. So the other thing is that on my channel, I shared a video where I was saying how I started going to therapy. And it has been so interesting just to talk out and learn about how I feel like I always need to be busy. And part of that truly is going back to childhood and watching how my mom would be prepping for Christmas, how my daddy always made the butter tarts, which, if you don't know butter tarts, they're a Canadian thing. I actually have a recipe on my website for that. Um, and they're delicious. Like, talk about sweet though. Actually, I'll just try to bring it up here. Butter tarts. And um, what else? And then we'd get to my grandma's house and she would have so much delicious food, and she was absolutely the sweetest, wonderful person, and she still is, but she doesn't, have her house anymore. So she but it was just the warmest, wonderfulest environment ever, and I absolutely love those memories so much, and it's like, that's what I create something like that, and I won't even say I try to because I love it and I do it and it feels great. So the difference though is like, how do you make sure that you are not burning out in the process? Because when I was talking to my therapist, we were just saying like that I just feel like sometimes like I can't rest until things are done. Or if they aren't done, then I feel like I don't deserve that rest or whatever. So what I realized is like this year in particular, when we don't have our they are good. But anyway, um so we when I'm sorry, I stopped doing that, but it just I love chatting with people. But what are the important things for everybody? And also like it can be a hard time of year for a lot of people for a number of different reasons. So what can you do to sort of offset that? So I think that focusing on 2 or 3 things that really matter to you and your family is great. One of the things I love to do is go out for dinner with my girlfriends, and we're doing that Tuesday. Like we're getting it out of the way early. My church, they always have like a Christmas banquet, and I gotta stop planning things on this coming weekend because it's always when the Christmas banquet is, and we're always away. So I need to stop that. Um, but there are going to be people here though, just so you know. But so what is the and also, like I said, because I want all of the kids to be able to participate, if it can't happen, like it can't for us this year because our one kid, um, is not able to make it, just being okay with that and saying like, "Yeah, that sucks, but we're still going to do something." And a lot of people would be like, "I'm not going to." And I'm so sorry finding a way that you are not looking for the holidays. It is hard for sure. And so I think the other thing is finding things again that you can enjoy, even if it is a really hard time of year. What is something you can enjoy? Is there a way for you to get involved in community? When I talk a lot about, when I talk a lot about, us feeling like perhaps lonely or like there's not a lot to do. For me, like my youngest is 16. Like we have 2 more years, 2 more Christmases, including this one, where I have like a child at home that's like my child, where I'm like, you can't go anywhere. And then that's it. So how can I make sure I keep busy? And I was talking to some friends yesterday who are also, they do Instagram mostly and some YouTube, but why a lot of us do this. And part of it is for something to do, for something that we enjoy. And so, is there something that you can do that you enjoy? Is it getting together with your family? I will tell you, and you may or may not be a religious person or whatever, but being involved with my church now has been so amazing for me. I do their social media. I just realized I'm like behind on the Instagram posts. I got to get those up there today. But I have them like ready to go, and I just forgot to schedule them because I was away. I would give myself that grace. And again, having grace with yourself. But the point is, it's I love having that community to be a part of. I go there and it's just so nice. And having that, like some of the responsibility and just the thing, like there is like the banquet, there are like the going there every Sunday and whatever. And I mean, if whether or not it's church, like you having something, some kind of community to take part in. And if you're on the other end of the spectrum where you have like younger children and there's like all of these things with the school and all of these other things, it's okay to not be a part of like those larger parts of the community and just again prioritizing and being like, how can I make this feel easier and doable for myself? What can I choose to do, and what can I decide I'm just going to drop for the year? Can feel so good too. And then also like simplifying things. So a lot of you know that I am a lot of you know that okay, so I'm just gonna respond to I wish I could skip gifts and make it about baked goods and movies and music. Me too. Oh my gosh, I feel the same way. Gifts. And yet, like, the gifts are my responsibility. That's what really frustrates me. So anyway, as I was saying, um, so a lot of you know that I am minimalist light. However, I am that one person that has 3 Christmas trees. 4 if you count the one that goes on the table. And I love them though. I live on the side of a mountain. It's dreary. It's raining right now. And the Christmas trees bring beautiful light. I almost I really wish honestly that Christmas was like February 14th and we did Valentine's Day December 25th. It would align more with what was actually happening in the Middle East at the time. But anyway, yeah, I really love the Christmas trees. However, we also have a kitten this year. He's like a wild man. So I'm just going to put the trees up without any ornaments on for the first little while and just squirt him with the spray bottle until he learns. And the other thing though is we're getting flooring put upstairs and we because we 7 years ago or 6 years ago, we had a flood and got new flooring on this level, which, by the way, because it's so dreary here, is really nice because it's much lighter in the house. It's a lighter color floor. We finally did it upstairs on the landing. And then we were like, let's get carpet in the bedrooms because we have to get rid of this old, like, dark floor. And it's wonderful. The carpet goes in tomorrow. I'm so excited. However, that means that my husband has been ripping out flooring for the past week and thankfully, a lot of it was when I was away. And yes, there is a video coming on this. And also, um, there's stuff everywhere. So I have been selling things. I've got people coming for, you know, uh, rugs. I'm giving things away for free. I gave away 2 bookshelves. Just like loving all of the things. And but there's mess everywhere and it is stressing me out. So I was like, I'm not going to decorate right now. That would make me feel so much worse. So also like just like taking it easy, planning things out slower. I know like there's people who put up their Christmas trees on October or on November 1st. I have done that. I don't think I will do that. I like to sort of enjoy November a little bit and put it up a little closer to the middle, like maybe like around the 20th or something. But I was away this year. So and again, it's just like removing all expectation. That's what I'm doing with like everything in my life right now, other than, like taking care of my clients. They can have expectations. But other than that, it's just like if somebody today, like we're ripping up the flooring in the bedroom again, and I like really hope my husband doesn't start while I'm on this call because I want to like move a few things quickly. Um, he was going to do that when I was away. I was like, no, start with the guest room. Don't start in here. Um, Bye, Kelly. But instead, it's just a matter of just taking it easy and just like, even because like that is happening, maybe dinner is not going to be um, anything fancy. It might be something from the freezer. And I am okay with that. Problem is, right now, it's just been so much chicken. So much chicken. But anyway, yes, fall first and then Christmas. I agree. I agree. And for me, like, again, being Canadian, it's sort of different. One of the things a lot of people have said when we got married 21 years ago, we put up our Christmas tree right around like November 12th ish. And one of the things here is like Remembrance Day, which I think is Veterans Day for you guys, or is it Memorial Day? I don't know. But people are like, don't you dare put Christmas up before that. However, a lot of people will say, well, I mean, the soldiers, they fought so we can have freedom and we can decide when to do it. It's not like you're not honoring that. But um, for me, it's just too soon. I really do. I really do like to enjoy a little bit of fall. Although right now it feels pretty wintry. I'm just looking. It's actually quite lovely, but it is gloomy. So that's what it is. But so this year, Christmas is just going to be so simple. I have not decided whether or not we're having our Christmas party. It just feels good to just say like, I don't know. I think the only people that honestly even care is my my mother-in-law and my mom. So that's good. That makes it easy. I do wanna see everybody. That's the one reason why I'm kinda like, "Well, I wanna see everybody," but we had a wonderful Thanksgiving back in October, and it was great to hang out with everybody, but I think that one of the things just to remember is just that, like, good enough is actually perfect, and honestly, perfection is a myth. There's no such thing as perfection. You can get it all done and still feel like you're failing. So just do that's why I do like this list though, is because you just prioritize. And I don't have my planners in here. I was going to show you my planners again, and I'll have a link to those below. And I'll actually link to my planner episode that I just did. Because if you just list the if you just list like your what has to get done, like for us, I would say like gifts have to happen. Like I would never not, I mean, in our family culture, you would never not give a gift. And I'm reading this book right now. It's a great book. I can't remember what it's called, but she talks about how, there were presents under the tree and then the car broke down and then the presents were gone because they had to fix the car or whatever. And how she woke up and there were no presents under the tree on Christmas. And I know a lot of people actually deal with that. So I think that's something that I feel very like blessed to be a part of. But that would be like the priority. Gifts, then food, and then activities. For me, my number one way to relax is like Christmas movies and just enjoying. Um, Used to be eggnog and stuff, but now, alcohol, since I've been in perimenopause, it just doesn't hit the same. People never used to put up Christmas tree before Thanksgiving. Now it's half and half in the States. Yeah, I can. So many people I've watched and follow, they have had trees up for weeks. And I actually just get kind of sick, and I'm no judgment. But for me, I just feel I get kind of tired of it. I mean, I'm just like, I get tired of cleaning around them. They're not even that much. And again, I put away a lot of like most other decor. So it's not a big deal. A lot of it does come in here. Like I have a kind of a bigger tree-ish thing in my living room. You've probably seen them. That's going to have to come in here just so it can be near light. But again, I think that just removing expectation. And also, if you're ever like, hmm, I don't know, maybe I don't want to do something, talk to your family about it because sometimes they don't care. That is actually the case for a lot of things. So, well, if anybody does anybody have any questions, whether or not it's about Christmas? This is just I'm probably not going to do another Christmas one because after this point, I feel like people get really tired because at Christmas, then they start being like, I got to like simplify. So I'll probably do something about that. We don't need gifts, but it makes it more fun. Exactly. And honestly, yes, I wouldn't not want to have presents. That is for sure. But Little Women, I always think about that. And, one girl got pencils, another girl got, what did she get? I can't remember. But then they were so excited that there was an orange, and I just like that, how to make it special, right? And also, like, if you're like me and you get kind of like blood during January and February, how can you make those months special? For us, January is like movie month, big time movie month. We watch all of the Star Wars, we watch all of the Lord of the Rings, all of the John Wicks because I love John Wick so much. I love those movies. It's like a ballet. The choreography is amazing. Yeah, my mom, yeah, so you leave yours up yeah. My mom, she actually puts her tree up pretty late, and I don't know if she did when we were kids. I need to ask her. I can't remember. But she leaves hers up until like March, but she lives in like a condo and it's really kind of dark in there. So it makes a lot of sense. I just get to, and I often will say, I'm gonna leave it up till Epiphany or whatever. And I often am just like, I gotta take it down. So we'll see. This year is going up slightly later. It'll probably be this weekend once the carpeting's in. I'm so glad they're coming tomorrow. It was going to be Friday and Monday because we can't do all of the rooms on one day. Although we might be able to. I'm hoping now because my husband actually is here tomorrow. But it's gonna be done. I'm so excited. Yes, January movies. That's what you gotta do. I grew up no presents really, but into experiences these days. Yeah. Oh, chocolate. Yes. I grew up fairly poor here in the States. We spend Black Friday putting up our tree and enjoyed that rather than shopping. Totally, totally. And I remember my grandpa. So my grandpa lived in, or my grandparents lived in Dallas, just for work in the early 80s. And I was there and I remember they were putting up their tree because it just happened to be right after Thanksgiving. And that is just, I think that's super cool. And we adopted that tradition. So it just so happens to coincide that way too. Yeah, I tell you, you do need, like, the movie months are such a game changer. It's almost like a movie every day. New Year's Day. That's kind of where I am. Oh my gosh, good question. How many active YouTubes do you have? Yeah, so currently there are 3. I did not want 3, but for a while I did experiment with just talking about how to grow on YouTube on this channel, and I realized I missed everybody too much, and I missed the actual content, like the whole, like, lifestyle, like simple living. That's just how I feel. Like, I just feel so. Hi, Renee. So, passionate about simple living and just like, yes, like I am going to just share this with people. So, and then last year I started the one that was a bit more cooking. Actually, no. So that one initially started as an ADHD channel, ADHD, which you can see as I describe my channels. And that one was probably like 3 years ago. And then, so that one has just been several things, but I did have problems with the channel. And even this one, like right now, I mean, YouTube again is scrubbing subscribers. It's just so annoying. And I am to the point where I'm just like, I don't even care. And I want to just make videos that inspire people and encourage people because there's just so much AI out there. And now I'm like, nope, we're hanging out, we are cleaning, we are doing life stuff, and that's what it is. And then I have the other one, which is about like growing YouTube, which is like new. And I need to upload like the other videos to it. But again, it's like you can only do so much. So that's 3 channels, but I'm really only posting to one right now. So there you go. Yeah, it's hard. I mean, I've been on it for 7 years. So it is hard. And again, like I've got the 3 channels. So, but I really just post to one because you only have so many hours in the day. We all just do. Although, some people say, Beyonce only has the same amount of hours, but no, she doesn't because she has people doing all these things for her. However, you still, if you're the person, like the person on the screen, you still are, you only have so many hours. So I really choose to have a lot better life balance. I feel like I really burnt myself out. And I did not feel like I was at the time last summer, but I just really burnt myself out and I'm just sort of like recovering. So, and that's why like this Christmas, it's just, we're experimenting with doing a little bit less and less expectations. And it feels so good. So good. So, of the baking I'm doing, I'm just prioritizing the baking I want to do. And it feels nice. And I encourage you guys too. So everybody, thank you. I hope something great happens for you today. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye. Make sure